I'm Tom Hickman. I'm a reader in public law at UCL. I'm also a barrister at Blackstone Chambers, and I convene a course called Aspects of National Security Law. It's a half course, it's a master's course, and it runs in the autumn term every year. And it's an unusual course because it's a course that incorporates invited speaker elements into the structure. The course covers topical issues in national security law. It has two broad components. It covers scrutiny of overt national security powers and scrutiny of covert national security powers. In terms of the overt powers, what that means is powers such as deportation of foreign terrorist suspects, terrorism prevention and investigation measures, TPIMs, control orders, powers of that nature. We may cover deprivation of citizenship depending on the year and whether it's particularly in the news in that year. The second component, covert powers, that's really looking at surveillance powers, and in particular we look at bulk surveillance powers in the post-Snowden world, and the oversight mechanisms and the adjudication mechanisms of disputes in both those areas. Every year we have at least two people who come in with experience of national security law issues in practice, in the real world, speak to the class, take questions. It will involve a special advocate and somebody else. In recent years, that somebody else has included Lord Justice Fulford, who's currently the head of the main oversight body of the intelligence services. He spoke to the class in 2017. In 2018, we had the head of legal and international affairs at GCHQ, and we've had similar officers and individuals in previous years. And that is a great opportunity for students to really put the things that they've read about in the texts to the individuals and ask them questions and quiz them on how these things work in practice. The other aspect of the invited speaker component is the special advocate. And special advocates are a fairly unique feature of the British legal system, where individuals who are very experienced barristers are appointed to represent the interests of people who are excluded from court hearings involving national security issues, to represent the interests of those individuals behind closed doors. And that is a fascinating aspect of the adjudication of national security issues, which we're able in this course to look at in a lot of detail, aided in particular by the fact that special advocates will come in and speak to us about what they do and answer questions from students about their role, how effective they are, where their role can be improved, and so on and so forth. Sometimes we are able to get a special advocate in from another jurisdiction. There are 2 or 3 other jurisdictions around the world which have broadly similar types of arrangements. In the past year we had a special advocate in from Canada, and he's actually come in a few times. Can't do that every year because it depends upon availability, but that is something we've done relatively regularly. We try and adapt the course a little bit to what's topical, what's interesting, what's in the news, but broadly speaking, the central core of the course is the same every year. The course is assessed by means of a 2-hour written exam. Students can select 2 essay topics from a choice of 5 or 6. It's an opportunity for students to really display how much they've managed to absorb and get under the skin of the materials. We find that the students who take this course tend to be some of the ablest and most inquisitive students on the LLM Masters course. There are a lot of materials to cover. There is a relatively large amount of reading, although we have facilitated the reading in recent years by reducing the reading materials to a casebook format that students are provided with. Students are obviously encouraged to do further reading of those materials, and further reading suggestions are made. It's a course that is challenging, that attracts really good students, and for that reason we usually have really good high-level discussions in the class. In terms of background knowledge, it's not a necessary requirement, but it's generally helpful if students have got some background in public law or at least human rights law. That's Aspects of National Security Law. I hope it's a course of interest to you, and I hope to see you on the course in the future.